Welcome to the podcast. I read it online somewhere. Your science questions answered.
This is episode 24 of I Read It Online Somewhere, your first port of call for the weird science questions, like, where do fish sleep? New year, new podcast. But not really, it's the same thing. I'm Ross and I'm a science teacher, and I'm joined by my science teacher friend Andrew.
Hello.
And a science teacher's worst nightmare, Amie.
Hi.
Our podcast is a look at some of the science stories we've read online this week, and we try to answer your questions with our science knowledge and Amy's knowledge of parts of the brain. I think that's the only science she seems to know. And we hopefully show you that science is fun for everyone. I hope everyone had a good New Year, and your New Year's resolution is to tell everyone about all the great podcasts you've been listening to. And also, hopefully, we feature on that list of great podcasts.
You've got fish on the brain. Let's see how many times we can get a
fish pun.
Let's see how many fish puns we can get into this.
You can send us your science-based questions.
Oh, quails are birds.
I mean quails.
Oh
No.
Oh dear.
Oh dear.
You can send us your science-based questions that we'll try and answer. Just search I Read It OS on any social media, or you can email us at ireaditos@gmail.com. Okay, so we're going to go on to what we read online this week.
No, are we going straight to that? Wow, I was going to ask you guys if you had any New Year's res.
To make the podcast quicker and snappier, let's go. So we're going on to what we read online this week.
Ross, we can chat for a minute about
Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, we can do that. I can cut it.
Right. Yeah,
Jeez.
calm down. I mean,
Okay,
you're speeding away like a tuna there.
That was horrific. That was not sly.
I don't even know if
You're being a bit shellfish with the puns.
Oh.
Right, what do you want to chat about? Or are you just strolling through your...
I'm actually just giggling fish puns.
Oh, guys, we are absolutely floundering.
Anything is possible.
Absolutely floundering here.
Oh, for God's sake.
Oh.
Oh, too much. Okay, Andrew, New Year's resolutions. Hit us.
Is that my New Year's resolution? It's not really what I'm up for. I don't really have any New Year's resolution. I suppose continue with podcast. Quick. Sorry. What? How about you guys? Do you guys have any?
Ross?
Nope.
Ross just wants to fire through this. I am going to try and learn how to do cryptic crosswords.
This is all getting cut anyway. So
if I get the right opportunity.
Oh,
nice.
That's quite good actually. That is
I am Googling fish puns.
I would. Do you know what? Actually, no. I don't have a New Year's resolution, but I do have something new for this year. If that kind of works.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So I decided. Well, one, apart from the fact that the mic was getting a bit rubbish, I got one of those like cool mics that like is like a radio DJ.
Oh yeah, you got like the stand thing, so you can move it around.
Yeah, it's really exciting, and I got one of those like tables.
Okay,
I'm going to continue to do fish puns until I'm the sole survivor.
I'm trying really hard. I just can't think of a fish pun.
I mean, just Google them. We are swimming along nicely though.
Oh, this is
our listeners might be hooked.
What is this? What is this? Anyway,
it's really fun.
Right.
So yeah, cryptic crosswords for me.
So yeah, what is a cryptic crossword?
But we really need to stop now.
Was that a fish pun?
Whaley.
Oh, whaley, sorry.
Yeah. Cryptic crosswords.
Yeah.
Google. I'll send you a link after.
Oh, okay. Is it something?
Basically, I can't really explain them.
Is it something that I? Is it something I COD do?
You COD do it, yeah.
Potentially.
I think this came from all the Christmas quizzes we had to do, because on Christmas Day you weren't allowed to play board games or anything. It has to be quizzes.
Oh, do you know what I did the other day? I did an official quiz. It was really exciting.
An official one?
An official.
Oh, okay. It was like an official one. Oh,
So
I knew
good.
that you were just trying to muscle in there.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, so what
Yeah,
we
we
read
should-
online this week?
I'm so sorry. This really isn't. This really isn't the place for it.
Nice.
Yay!
Right,
Are you Googling fish puns as well?
I have.
Right, if you do
I'm
fish
hooked.
puns from now on...
Ross is getting absolutely schooled.
Yeah. So we're going to do what we read online this week. And this week we're going to start off with Andrew.
Hello. So, guys, as we've got a lovely theme of water running through, I just wanted to let you know that although we're in Corona times, there is a good chance that you have made out with a drowning victim from the 1800s.
Oh, sorry, Ross.
Yeah.
Well, I'm confused with this. But,
So,
I'm intrigued.
it's
is
actually
this stuff like the drinking dinosaur pee? Is this
no,
one of
no,
these
no,
ones?
no. You have definitely kissed a girl and liked it. Because what actually happened, or what this is all about, is about Resusci Annies. So you know Resusci Annies, the
Oh yeah, the
No.
training for CPR stuff.
the CPR dolls.
You know the Office episode
The
where
Office
Dwight
episode.
cuts the face.
Yeah. So Resusci Annies, the face of the doll, so the face of Resusci Annie, is actually modelled off of a death mask of someone, of a young woman who was found in the Seine. So she's called. Oh, my French is terrible, so I'm just going to give you the English. But it's the unknown woman of the Seine. So in the late 1880s, a body was discovered drowned in the Seine, which is the river that runs through Paris. Nobody knew what happened to her. And when she went to the mortuary, in a weird way, the guy made a death mask of her. And they thought that she was so beautiful. And it was at that time when sort of death masks went on display, and round about the Victorian times, a bit sort of they really like death and are very associated with it. Take pictures of them at. But they thought that the face was so beautiful that they would use it on something, and they decided to use this cast. Well, kind of by accident. But what had happened was that this woman had drowned in the Seine, and in 1950, a toy manufacturer used the model of the face on a plastic doll called
Barbie.
Annie. No, called Annie. So that's how Resusci Annie came out. And
Shrunk her down to
his
100%.
own son nearly drowned when he was 2. So he thought, right, well, what I want to do is I want to make something that can show people how to use CPR, because at that point CPR wasn't like a thing. So he found this death mask, and he used that to sort of make the face of Annie, of Resusci Annie, and it is known as the most kissed person of all time. And it's an unknown woman from France, and I just think that is like one of the coolest things ever, because when you see the article, so when you link to the article, you can see a picture of the woman's face, and you're like, oh yeah, that's the face of the Resusci Annie doll. Like it's you
And
know
is
you know
it the
you know
most
what it
beautiful
is.
face you've ever seen?
Well, maybe not the
It's
most
up there.
beautiful face, but it's like it's nice. But I don't really know how old the Resusci Annie is. But it's it's a nice face, but unfortunately she died. So, but
Yeah.
out of that came something really cool, and now loads of people know how to do CPR, which is just fantastic.
Thanks to Annie.
Yeah.
That's Annie.
The main problem with CPR is they change it all the time.
Well, they changed the song that you're supposed to compress to.
But there's things about like when I first did my bronze medallion back when I was 15. You did like so many pushes, then a breath, and so many pushes, then a breath. And then it changed to just doing pushes. So
I
don't know what the current guidelines are actually. I've not redone my bronze medallion.
I think it's better to maintain the chest compressions than it is to do the breathing, because you still can get the heart to pump through. I did mine not that long ago, but obviously I think you should still be doing the breaths if you can, but if you cannot keep up the breaths, then the chest compressions are what to do, and you should do it. The last time I heard it was like the Macarena, but I would still do like Staying Alive.
Going to move on to the next story, which is me. So,
I changed the script so that I would go after Andrew. You've changed it back.
the next story we read online is Amie.
Did you try and change it?
You didn't
mix
try,
it
you
up,
did
know?
change it.
I changed it so I would go second.
I can see it. It's written here. He did change it. It's there. It says
I was just
Andrew
mixing it
Ross
up,
Amie.
like-
Yeah, but I'd already mixed it up.
Yeah,
'cause
well, I didn't know that, did I? These joint
you
documents.
guys.
Okay. So my headline is top 10 UK places most likely to survive zombie apocalypse.
Ooh.
And this was done by I think it was like a university or someone did a study on it. So Edinburgh features in the top 10. Where do you think it features?
9.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna go for 4.
7.
Oh.
It is based on outdoor space. How many outdoor space you have, how many recycling centres you have, and how many electrical charging points you have.
Wait, I'm sorry, recycling centers. What's that got to do with
Honestly, I don't
zombies?
know.
Are you confusing zombie apocalypse with environmental apocalypse?
Honestly, I don't know, but it must just
So
be
electrical charging ports, recycling centres.
Well, think about if you did live in an apocalyptic world.
Yeah.
But where would you put all your rubbish? And there was no one to come and collect your bins, so to have a big place where you could go would be quite ideal.
But wait, Amy,
Yeah,
I don't know.
No one's emptying it.
Like, have you ever seen like the start of a zombie apocalypse film? Like most of the time, it's just
Shaun
a
of the
wasteland.
Dead.
Oh, fair
Shaun
enough.
of the Dead. Well, yeah, because they're all recycling their rubbish.
Or they're not. No, but it's a wasteland. Like everything's rubbish. They're not. They're not recycling.
Then they're bad places. And also onshore wind farms and farmland.
Okay, so you can
get
generate
farmland.
You can generate power, and then you've got somewhere that you can make food.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So that kind of makes sense, doesn't it? So number 1 was Cambridge.
The place with all the boats.
The place with all the boats.
Renowned for its wind farms?
Yeah, I don't know. It must be onshore wind farms. And then Swansea.
I'm very suspicious of this article.
No, wait,
just don't
give
get-
us the other ones. We want to hear the other ones. We want to rip them to shreds.
Can you guess them?
Oxford.
No.
Ugh, London?
No, London wouldn't be good. Remember, it's done in like open spaces as well.
Open space. Offshore wind farms. Aberdeen.
Onshore wind farms.
Onshore wind farm.
Aberdeen is not there.
Right.
No, Aberdeen looks like a post.
The Highlands, because like we've got onshore wind farms.
No.
And recycling centres.
And loads of space.
No. Oh my god. So there's another place in Scotland. Another kind of city you've not mentioned.
Dundee.
Yeah.
It's
Number 8.
always Dundee. Always Dundee.
So you jump on the Discovery and you're safe.
Hide in the V&A. No one will find you in there.
So that was my story. I thought it was quite cool though.
That is cool. But
I'm so confused by it because recycling centres only work if there's people there to man the recycling centre.
well, I feel like
there's not that many people.
I mean, I think the recycling centres is quite random.
But I feel like zombies aren't really. They're not really geared up to put plastics in plastics. They probably
also
they probably have mixed recycling. Ugh.
Well, maybe it's something to do with the air quality. They said it's based on air quality as well, so maybe being able to. I don't know.
But the electric points for your car, there's not going to be anyone producing electricity, so you can't charge your car.
The wind farms?
That's the only thing that's sensible. But then there's no point in having a random charging point. You need to connect that directly to your wind farm. I'm not sure that's easy to do.
I don't know.
Need some sort of transformer. I've got a bit of an engineering background.
You could question them.
Yeah. What's the website?
Apparently, Cambridge here is being described as leafy. Leafy Cambridge.
That's what you need during a zombie apocalypse. Just gardens
Leafy.
to look at.
So Ross, over to you.
Okay, so the last story that was read online this week is me. So what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to go to your recycling and get a bit of plastic.
You're actually going to make us get up and do it.
Yeah?
My recycling's all the way downstairs.
So, Max
Okay.
does...
Right, thanks for coming back with your recycling. Okay, what do you notice about your plastic that you've picked up?
Oh, it's see-through.
Okay.
Mine was a milk
It's-
carton.
So is mine.
Okay. And is there any sort of markings on it?
There's a date on it.
It's got the recycling symbol with a little number on it.
Okay, and what do the numbers mean?
I don't know.
Is it not the type of plastic?
It does mean the type of plastic, but I'm going to take you back to what you said before. You said that was the recycling symbol.
Oh, the arrows.
Oh, I know what you're gonna say.
It is not the recycling symbol.
The arrows.
Yeah.
Are we
The
are we talking about?
No, so the
hold on.
arrows in the
No,
triangle
yeah, wait,
are
hold
the
on.
recycling
So,
symbol.
I
Yeah,
I
Andrew?
was meaning the triangle recycle ones. Are you meaning the black and white yin yang type one?
No, I mean in the triangle one with the number in the middle.
Oh, that's not recycling. I thought that was.
That's not recycling.
What is it?
Oh.
It's a plastic identification number. So it only tells you what type of plastic it is. And interestingly, there's 1 to 7. Only 1 and 2 can actually be recycled.
Really?
So numbers
Really?
4 can a little bit with plastic bags and stuff. But
What's number 7?
It's a I don't know, very hard plastic. But yeah, numbers
Acrylic.
3, 5, 6, 7 cannot be recycled. But people think that they can be recycled because they've got that, because it looks like the recycling symbol,
Yeah.
but it's actually just the categorizing symbol. So Andrew, you're looking at a water bottle there. What
Yeah,
number is
sorry,
that
it was a
got?
water bottle, not a milk bottle. Sorry.
No, your separate water bottle.
It's got a 5 actually. It 5
5,
and then a
okay.
PP underneath.
Oh, I've got them all up here.
Okay, Amy's found something.
So
Tell us.
5 pp. So that stands for furniture, consumers' luggage, toys, as well as bumpers, lining, and external borders of cars. But I don't know if you can.
But yeah, I just found it really easy that basically, I think it was in the 70s, someone hijacked the recycling symbol and put it on plastic. And now everyone thinks that all plastic's recyclable because they've all got these categories on them. Because all plastic legally has to have these categories
I would have
on them.
thought that.
Yeah.
Wait,
That's
they've got
kinda-
they have names. So number 1's Pete, like literally Pete. Number 2 is high HDPE. Oh, none of the rest of them are names. I just saw Pete and I was
Oh,
like,
wait.
wow.
It's
So 3's PVC.
PEAT.
No,
I think that's the
PET.
type of PEAT.
PETE.
PET.
It
I
is
think that's polyethylene.
Polyethanol
Something.
terephthalate.
Yeah, I think it's the name of the plastic.
So that's mineral water. Oh, interesting. So your bottle isn't classified as mineral water.
Well, no, it's
Soft drink bottles, mineral water, fruit juice
That's
container,
not-
cooking oil.
That's a water
No,
bottle.
that would be
Oh,
like
okay.
that would be like a disposable water
Oh,
bottle.
disposable one.
Yeah, so I was watching a video about it and I just find it really interesting that everyone thinks that there's no longer like single-use plastic because everything can be recycled. But yeah, it's just not the case. Some stuff can, but even to recycle that stuff, it costs a lot of energy to do. So actually, most countries don't do it. Most of your plastic that you put in your recycling ends up in landfill.
Does someone have to sort that out?
Yeah.
Poor
But
them.
I just thought we could use this as a bit of a shout of even if you think you're doing okay by recycling it, you're not. We need to try and stop using as much plastic.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's my public service announcement for the year.
Take your
Nice.
canvas bags to the supermarket, as Tim
Yeah, exactly.
mentioned one
Yeah.
song.
Or just make sure you are like with plastic bags. Make sure you're actually reusing them. There's so many food containers that come with plastic that
Isn't recyclable actually.
yeah.
That's the big thing. The food containers, and it's not recyclable.
Yeah, well, a lot of food containers are plastic number 1, which can be recycled. But as I was saying earlier, not many people actually do recycle them. Like, not many countries actually recycle them. It's so expensive to do. So we either need to pressurize people to actually recycle, or we need to stop using as much plastic. And interestingly, I saw Nivea have put some stuff in their boot stores, so you can turn up with your own container, and you can buy your Nivea creams and things
Oh,
from
really?
like a vending machine dispenser.
Yeah,
That's-
a lot of places do that.
Yeah.
Like Sainsbury's do that with like kitchen soap or bathroom soap.
Yeah, I think there's an Asda place Asda or a Tesco that's completely, again, I saw it on TikTok, but there's one that's completely like you bring your own things to get done. Like we can buy milk up here in glass bottles. But that's really good actually because all those plastics, it's all of that turns into microplastics which end up in the ocean and the poor fish.
The poor fish.
More fish. Well,
They're not having a whale of a time, are they?
Ross is now on board with the fish buns.
That was a poor one.
6 hours later.
This was basically just it's a big marketing campaign by the plastic industry in the 70s and 80s that we're still believing today. So just because they try to like push out glass and say plastic's better, because plastic is so cheap to make that people make stuff out of plastic because it's cheap.
Mm-hmm.
But it comes from oil. It's not going to be around forever. So we need to, as well as polluting everything, we need to save it. Right. So we're going to go on to the science fact of the week.
The science fact of the week. Ooh.
Science fact of the week.
Did you know that chalk is actually made from trillions of microscopic plankton fossils, which we found in the sea?
Ooh.
Oh.
Yeah. So they all die, and then they all convert themselves into calcium carbonate, and then they become chalk.
Oh, nice.
Oh, nice.
So that's what like the White Cliffs of Dover. They're chalk, are they?
Yep.
So they're made up of tiny
Plankton fossils.
plankton fossils.
Will we run out of them?
Plankton, probably not. There's quite a lot, unless we don't eat plankton. The biggest organism that eats plankton is
A blue whale.
Blue whale, although it might be krill.
Yeah,
I don't think they're plankton. But plankton is actually really, really, really tiny. A single-celled algae.
Ooh.
And it's lived
But
on
you
here
also
for
get-
200 million years.
You also get
And
zooplankton. What's the difference between plankton and zooplankton?
Zooplankton are animals. So plankton are not. Plankton are algae. So they're plant based. They have chloroplast in them. Whereas zooplankton are tiny little animals, tiny little creatures.
Perfect. Okay. All right. Thank you very much. So that is our fact of the week. Right, we're going to go over to Amie for questions from the public.
Okay, so the first question is, where do fish live, or where do they sleep? We know they live in the sea, but where do they sleep?
Well, I think it depends on the fish. So some fish can live in sort of little caves or crevices between coral. But then if you look at Finding Nemo is a really good example of the clownfish, as the example they use, are they live in sea anemones. Can we all say sea anemones?
Sea anemone.
Sea anemone.
Yeah, well done, guys. Well done.
Yay.
Is that a word people can't say?
It's quite hard to say.
Yeah, it is sea anemone. Yeah, anemone. They go anemone.
It's like sea animal.
Have you not seen
Finding Nemo.
Yeah. It's all like sea anemone.
Yeah, so clownfish will sleep in the anemone, and I presume other things around coral reefs will do a bit of that.
Yeah,
I'm thinking of was it? It's not salmon. What are the little small?
A lot of fish.
Fish.
Yeah, the ones that just swim around in a big school. That's just all they do all day.
Oh, like the basic bitches.
like tunas or
Tunas.
No, tuna swim in shoals.
Oh, do they?
Yeah.
They're massive.
Mm-hmm.
How big are their shoals?
They're not hundreds of
It's like 4.
shoal, but
yeah. I'm thinking of the ones in Finding Nemo that make shapes.
Yeah, they're tuna.
That's tuna.
Yeah, well, I think it's based on tuna.
Sardines was the one I was thinking of, not salmon.
Oh,
Sardines.
Oh, the little
all
ones.
right. Oh,
Yeah.
the tiny little. Okay, right.
So basically, the ones that fear for their life all the time. Do they sleep or not?
Yeah, I think they will. They'll just probably mosey on down to the bottom of the sea and probably just sleep there. I actually don't know. I used to have fish as a kid, and I'm quite sure that they did sleep, but not. We can't. The issue with this is we're trying to anthropomorphize. Can we say anthropomorphize?
Anthropomorphize?
That's a no.
Cinema?
So, anthropomorphize is where you put human characteristics on other organisms. So, I think it's the whole basis of that book, Animal Farm, where they turn animals into humans because they put human things on them. And I think when we do that, we talk about sleep. We'd imagine there's a bed and a tiny little seaweed cover, and they fall asleep. But I think they're a bit like how cows sleep. They can sleep standing up, I think.
Yeah, I think they do. Yeah.
It seems strange to us, but because we go somewhere specific. But people can sleep standing up. I've seen that in clubs. So it's crazy.
Pretty sure I've seen
But
most of that.
is it not more the sort of more intelligent the animal, the more it needs sleep? So you get.
Are you just going
animals-
to justify this on why you sleep longer?
So actually, do you know what
That's
I
why I
was?
sleep longer than Amy.
I was actually doing this is where it's gonna get really boring. But I was doing a scientific literacy sets of questions with my classes.
Wow.
I know, rock and roll this online learning. But one of the articles was actually about how there was a study done that decided if you needed more sleep, you were likely to age. The more you slept, the less you aged. So i.e. the less sleep you get, the faster you age, because it destroys your telomeres at the end of your DNA. So a bit like aglets at the end of your shoelaces.
Laces? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
So
yeah.
that wee thing's called an aglet. I think we've talked about this before. That the aglet is a bit like your DNA, so it unravels. But yeah, that was talking about sleep. So I mean, sleep is important. We should obviously be getting all the sleep that we need, but just be aware that some people do need less. Don't need as much sleep as others. But obviously, now that everybody's in kind of lockdown, your sleep might be disturbed. So you want to maybe do things to encourage sleep. So don't spend a lot of time in bedrooms, because that is where you're sleeping. So you want to keep your bedrooms cool as well at nighttime, because that allows you to drift off quicker. And other bedtime related facts. So all you fishes out there, stay in the cold waters.
Okay, our final question is, where do tears come from? Or
Why-
tears? Ooh, what does Ross mean?
What?
Sorry, I spelt it wrong in the script.
No, it's spelled the same way.
Oh no,
What?
I didn't.
Why?
Because we don't speak enough about tears, Boris.
Wow, that was
Tears come from Boris Johnson's dreams.
That was whoa. That was so upbeat for something so sad.
So I'd imagine most people think, because if you pull like your eyelash down, there's a little like hole. Is that where they come from, Andrew?
No.
Andrew's googling it.
Let me. No, sorry. No, I just realized I had my email on and it like beeped, and I'm like, oh great, that's been picked up. So no, so your tears actually come from so the use of it was.
What?
Sorry, I read the script, right, and I was like, do we have tear pouch? And then I'm like, that's not the question you asked. So you asked, where do tears come from? So
Yeah.
they do actually come from not necessarily a pouch, but they do come from a gland, and it's called the lacrimal gland, which sits just underneath the eye, and or just near the eye. I can't remember if it's above or below. Anyway, but they come out and they help to lubricate your eye, to wash things away, which is most of the time why you're crying or you get white eyes. It's to wash stuff out of your eye. And if you've ever tasted your tears, they are ever so slightly salty.
Salty. Yeah.
Because they are produced. The lacrimal gland is similar in ways to sweat, but it is body water, so it's water that you've taken in through your kidneys. Water's filtered out, and that sort of circulates, and it's water there. But the tiny little holes in the bottom, so they're right in the corner, and if you just pull your eyelid back slightly, you can see that tiny little hole. That hole is actually a drainage function. So it drains any of the tears, or if there's a little bit of moisture, it drains it out and into your nose. And that's why, see, sometimes when you cry, your nose becomes moist and snotty.
I wouldn't know. I've never cried.
Would you want to know something disgusting? You see, if I used to wear eyeliner,
yeah,
it would like sometimes come out my nose or my mouth.
yeah, because remember your nasal passage is connected.
Yeah, isn't that disgusting though?
Yeah, a
I'd
wee
be like,
bit.
oh, why am I blowing black?
But would you
Black snot.
well, no,
Just
it's
finish that sentence.
I just want to clarify. I was not saying I don't cry. I meant to finish the joke. I wasn't implying toxic masculinity. I cry at
Serious?
quite a lot of things.
Ross cries more than me.
Wow, this got deep really quickly.
Yeah, you know, like some adverts.
Ross
I'm trying to
cries
think
at like
there's like an advert recently
great adverts I've seen you cry at. Great British Bake Off.
Never the Christmas adverts for some reason, but like other ones.
But yeah, no, and I mean it's also good again. Lockdown is absolutely perfectly fine to have a good cry. It's a good emotional training as well. It's good emotional well-being to cry, to let out your emotions. And you know, if you guys are ever interested in letting out your emotions or talking to people, you can always send us an email at ireaditos@gmail.com, or you can connect with us on our Instagram page, our Facebook, our Twitter, and our TikTok at ireaditos at ireaditos. And feel free to drop us any questions you want to ask, or ask us any other questions, or correct our knowledge, or tell us a fish pun. Then please feel free. So guys, it's really good to be back. Glad you're listening with us, and we will see you the next episode. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Where do fish sleep? Where do fish sleep?
Hashtag New Year, New Me.
New year, new me. Okay, let's try that last bit again.
Where do fish sleep?
Fish
Yeah, I got
sleep?
that. That's fine.
Where do
Where
fish
do fish
sleep?
sleep?